Diana Denmark here, checking with you today to give you a little bit of midweek motivation. Maybe you've lost direction, don't know what you're supposed to be doing. It's all good, we will get days like that. I'm going to need your help because I know many of you are iced tea experts. I'm going to need your help with that. I've bought a new bathing accessory. I wonder if you can guess what it is. And of course we'll be talking a bit about the house, bit of cleaning. I'll tell you what we're having for dinner this week. Still a wee bit chilly here in Denmark at the moment, but it was beautiful sunshine first thing this morning. I had a really nice skinny dip sea swim with Vibeke, and we could just sit for 5 minutes enjoying the sun's rays. That was a really great start to the day, a nice bike ride. And sea temperature today was 9 degrees Celsius, which is about 47, 40 F. So we're slowly warming up. And let's start with this week's menu plan because I'm feeling peckish as usual. You can get my printable lists, they're templates, you can change the font, you can change what's on there. dianedenmark.com/printables, it's all there. I won't go through my full list this week, but it was just to give you a few ideas. Risotto in the Instant Pot, I've got a video for that if you want to know how to make that really fast and simple. We're having it with bacon and mushroom. Croque Madame, which is basically, you know, a toasted sandwich with a fried egg on the top and salad. Pork tenderloin, 2 ways. It's just me and hubby now, so if I buy a pork tenderloin, what I do is I use half for one dinner and half for another dinner. So the 2 ways that we're having it is in a pad thai, the Jennifer Joyce one on BBC Good Food website. That's one that I use, and she uses prawns in it, but you could use chicken or pork. And the other way that I'm using the pork is as pork medallions in a creamy balsamic sauce, yum, yum, yum. And coming up this week, you can't fail to miss it, the Coronation in the UK. How about Coronation Chicken this week? I've got a video for that. The dish was actually for Queen Elizabeth II's coronation, and it's a dish that we make quite often in the summer. I'll put a link up there to that. One other thing that we're having this week, let me just grab it from the fridge. It's something that I buy when we're in Sweden, we don't have it here in Denmark. And basically it's a cheese pie, a bit like tiropita, you know, the Greek cheese pie. But this is Swedish cheese pie. It comes in a crusty quiche base, and the top is a special type of cheese from Sweden called Västerbottenost. Of course, you can't really compare exactly to anything else, but it's a bit like a kind of very salty, quite old, crumbly cheese, a bit like Parmesan. And usually when I serve this for me and hubby, I'll have this with salmon and a bit of salad. So anyway, so hands up if you've ever seen Västerbottenostpaj. I love it, just warmed through. You don't want it hot, but just nicely warm. Yum. Making myself hungry again. And on my list I always have a day where we're usually eating leftovers, or maybe I make quite a big portion of something and then we have it 2 days later. So menu inspiration for you there. Quickly talk about the cleaning for the week if you're doing the same as me with the Flylady system. Remember to always do your basic clean first, you know, your weekly upkeep clean. And I'm just noticing here, I should actually be changed over to my spring. I've got a spring spray. I love these ones, they're good for the environment. You can just spray it on and wipe it off with a damp cloth. Anyway, oh gosh, sun here today. And this week's zone that we're working in, remember, first you do your kind of weekly upkeep of the house, high traffic areas, and then we can do zone stuff. Zone 1 this week, which is the entryway to the house. Maybe you've got a porch, maybe you're coming through the garage, maybe you're coming up the garden path, the hall and the dining room. And if you're very new to the Flylady system, don't worry too much about the ins and outs of the zone cleaning. What you can do this week in zone 1 is maybe just do, as usual, as I always recommend, do a poopa, pick up and put away, do it just for 5 or 10 minutes, and then do a really good vacuum in that area because you'll see fast results with that. And I find it really handy to have a timer in my little cleaning caddy because it gets me over that hurdle of saying, oh, but I don't have time to do the whole thing properly. Just 5 minutes get started. And also when we don't want to do it, it's like, okay, I'll do 5 or 10 minutes and then I get to stop. Okay, on to this week's mystery object. It's something that I use when we are swimming. And when I'm talking swimming here, I'm talking when it's icy, when it's cold, when it's minus 10 degrees Celsius on the bathing bridge and we're standing there thinking, why on earth are we doing this? Well, often in the winter, you know, we come up out the water and we've got cold hands, cold feet, and we've discovered that it really helps to warm up by having some tepid water, warm water to put our feet into. But you know, we're transporting a lot of stuff and it gets a bit of a fiddle. And we have tried with basins, and actually I had tried this one, that this is actually one from IKEA that is a collapsible one. There we are, like that. But that's okay for hands, but not for our feet. It's not big enough. But useful actually if you've got a small kitchen like I do and you haven't got space for a basin. Look. Yeah. Anyway, what I've found online, this now, of course, this is a camping thing, so maybe those of you who camp, it is a foldable washing bowl. Look at that. So, and what we usually do is we fill up a thermos with warm water, and when we come out we can put our feet in it, and it really helps to warm up your toes very fast. And also when you're finished you could put in your wet swimming costume in there, your towels maybe got wet, so actually it's a really practical thing. Or if you don't use it in that way, you could fill it up with ice cubes and use it if you are having a party outside, you know, put your bottle of champagne in. Or you're down at the beach with the kids, you could fill that up with the water and they could sit on the sand and play with it. I think it was 80 Danish krona, and it folds up. It doesn't take up much space. I think I weighed it and it was something like 250, 300 grams. So not bad at all. Right, and then moving on to something which is very dear to us, tea. We'll have our cup of tea. And I usually drink tea hot, but sometimes in the summer it's quite nice to have some iced tea. And I know when my son was over in the States for a year, he did a year of high school, he came back and he was really into iced tea and making his own iced tea. And the other day, my friend Helen, one of the ladies that I swim with and a friend of Sue's, she brought this tea along. She was decluttering it because she really didn't like it, and it does have a very overpowering strawberry scent, like they've put in a ton of strawberry oil. And she was decluttering, and I said, oh, but Helen, my friend Helena has often said if you've got a tea that's a bit too strong, it's actually quite good for iced tea because it's got more flavour. So I'm thinking of making iced tea. I've got this lemon Earl Grey that I actually got from Helena. I'm thinking I'll try that as iced tea, and also the this one. It's actually called Tivoli tea for, you know, Tivoli Gardens here in Copenhagen, and it's a green and white tea with taste of strawberries, but it is pretty pongy. It's pretty overpowering, and this one I always like the chai teas. That's the regular brand that we drink. But do you have any tips for it? Because I know you have to add some sugar, but I'm not quite au fait with the amounts of it. If you've got a really good iced tea recipe for us, those of you who are in the south, in the States, I know you're big on your sweet tea and iced tea. Let me know how you make it. The way that I've made it up until now is brewed some strong tea and then added cold water and then chilled it in the fridge. That's how I've done it. But I'm Scottish and we usually drink our tea as hot as we can. Oh, and a little fun fact for you about Denmark today, because this is the first Wednesday in May, which means that it's the day that they sound the sirens. They test the warning sirens at 12 o'clock noon. And if you're new to Denmark or you haven't lived anywhere where there's been sirens before, it can be quite surreal. I remember the first time I heard them, I was walking on the street here in Copenhagen, and then suddenly these sirens went off, and they're really loud. I can let you hear what they're like. Sirens, they mean seek cover, go indoors, search for information about what is happening. And then after that there's another test siren, which is a long siren, which means it's safe to come out. You can come out from underneath the table. I remember the first time I heard it, as I said, I was walking down the street and I heard these sirens going off, and I'm thinking, what on earth is going on? I'd never heard this before. And I could see everybody else, they're just walking down the road, pushing the prams, and I thought, oh, okay, it must be fine. And then of course, when my husband, what on earth is going on? So this morning, I put a little note in the international ladies group that I have. Just a little reminder that this is happening today. We've also got quite a few new ladies. So anyway, so if you're visiting Denmark, the first Wednesday of May, you know what to expect. But we're all good. It was just a test. I knew for this year we're getting it by text to our phones so the information comes up. And then of course, moving forward, if there is some kind of chemical problem somewhere, you can get the information. It'll say, you know, go indoors or make sure you close doors and windows, all that kind of thing. Do you have the same thing in your country? I know that in the UK they had their test of that last week. I think there was a bit of a problem. It didn't quite go to plan. But anyway, that's why we need to test these things. Right, no more hanging around. We need to move forward. Hopefully I gave you a little bit of motivation, or at least put you in the right direction so you can get you moving forward. Remember to like the video, subscribe, share with a friend. That helps me. And the next time I see you, I will be back with another Declutter Your Home, one of those 5-minute videos to get you inspired. And all I've got left to say is live long and prosper. May this spring Danish hygge be with you. And I'll see you very soon. Okay, bye for now.